In the air to left field. That one's fair. That one is gone! Just over the flower bed, Carlos Ruiz, a walk-off home run. And the Phillies have defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 2-1 in 10 innings. What a game. Two great games so far between the Phils and the St. Louis Cardinals. A sold-out crowd tonight settling in and getting ready for Game 3 of a 4-game series here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Chris Wheeler will be along a little later on. Electric last night were the Phillies and their fans. In fact, Carlos Ruiz sent this Phils crowd home happy with a 10th-inning home run. And for Carlos, who's not in the lineup tonight, it's 24 hours of bliss because that was a big swing. And it's something, Sarge, that we've seen during his career that he's kind of gotten used to.
Yeah, he's been seeing a lot of pitches here lately, almost 5 a game. And what enables him to do, he hits the ball hard. More pitches you see, easier it is to be able to hit. Now take a look here at a walk-off hit here. You want to make contact with a runner on third. That's exactly what he did. That was in 207. Take another look here at a walk-off home run in 207 as he drills the ball. That's a fastball as he looks down there. And when he does that, you know the ball is going to be going out of the ballpark. Again, Carlos hitting in that A spot makes it a little difficult at times. But again, he comes up again with a swinging butt. Not able to make that play, sliding across. That was in the World Series there as he gets a lot of high fives. And then last night, after hitting a ball foul, what does he do? He comes back and hits the ball fair as it jumps out of the ballpark there, right in the front row as a fan gets the ball and he's getting ready to jump right on home plate. Carlos does it again. And when you take a look at the regular season, not only 248, but in the postseason is when he's really been shining there. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, Tom, really looking good.
And a 303 batting average. One of the things that has set Carlos Ruiz aside from everybody else in the number 8 spot this year, all of the walks, and that goes along with what you said about seeing so many pitches. He's had a good start to the 2010 season. Well, speaking of starts, Kyle Kendrick is trying to get back on the right track with tonight's performance. He'll take on Brad Penny, who's not allowed a home run so far this season for the Cards. The crowd continues to file in. They're getting set for the starting lineups, which are coming up next. Philadelphia as the Phillies and the Cardinals get ready for Game 3 of a 4-game series. Each team has won a game in the first two. The Phillies, of course, winning it in dramatic fashion last night with a home run by Carlos Ruiz in the 10th inning. And for Carlos, it was a little poetic justice after his first swing against Blake Hawksworth went foul. He pulled it foul and then settled in and drilled one over the flower bed. He's enjoying the fanatic who was getting on the St. Louis Cardinals just a moment ago before he headed out toward the outfield to get this crowd revved up for the start of this ball game. And Carlos got his jacket on because he is not in the starting lineup tonight for the Phillies. He deserves an off day, and he finally has one with today's ball game. Well, the Phillies take the field, and speaking of starting lineups, here's the Cardinals lineup brought to you by Xfinity. Leading it off at second base, Skip Schumacher. Ryan Ludwig, the right fielder, bats second. Albert Pujols is over at first base, hitting third. Matt Holliday bats fourth, followed by Colby Rasmus, the center fielder. David Freese, the third baseman, bats sixth. Hitting seventh, Yadier Molina. Brad Penny bats eighth, and batting ninth and playing shortstop is Brendan Ryan, and they will face Kyle Kendrick, who has struggled this year. In fact, Kyle's had one good outing, and that's it. He's really trying to get himself on track, Wheels.
Yeah, he got hit hard the other night, Tommy, by the Mets. Of course, he gave up the 3 home runs, and he was getting the left-handed hitters out that night, and then the right-handed hitters were getting to him. So, yeah, he's one of those guys, and, he knows he's fortunate to be in the rotation right now because other guys are hurt, or he might not even be in it. Here's the Southwest Airlines scouting report on his sinking fastball, emphasis on getting the left-handed hitters out. He was a little better last time at that. And this guy needs a confidence boost. As you said, he's only had really one good start this year. So he needs to go out, get some people out consistently, and, then maybe he'll be able to compete a little bit better.
Well, one of the things he has going for him is that his career numbers against the Cardinals include a 2.25 earned run average. That's the lowest ERA against any team he has faced during his career, and those are his lines, or part of his lines, this season. The 8 innings against the Braves, outstanding. He left with a 3-0 lead. But look at Washington the second time, and at Arizona on the 25th, and of course his last outing against the Mets, in which he allowed 4 earned runs. He's hoping to duplicate what Cole Hamels did last night. Cole was outstanding. In fact, the Phillies really have had back-to-back solid starting pitching performances against the Cardinals. Hamels last night, 8 strikeouts over 8 innings, and Joe Blanton the night before. Hamels just had a really good fastball last night, and there's Big Joe, who pitched decently into the 7th inning in the opener of this 4-game series.
And when you come into games against the St. Louis Cardinals, your starters have to be good because the odds are there's not going to be a lot of runs scored in the game. I mean, the Phillies won the game with 2 last night. The night before they didn't score. So the Cardinals run a guy out there every night that probably will not give you a whole lot.
Well, here we go, getting set to get underway. Game 3 of a 4-game series. Skip Schumacher leads it off against Kyle Kendrick. Schumacher did not start last night's ball game. And the first pitch, a tailing fastball. Take it for a strike. And we are underway, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Schumacher overall hitting .214 with a home run and 4 RBIs. Good success against Kendrick during his career. And this is one of the keys that Charlie Manuel talked about. Getting ahead early for Kyle Kendrick, because that means he can throw his secondary pitches and keep his pitch count down and build up his confidence. And there's a liner toward right. Jason Worth out of the sunshine makes the play. 1 away.
Yeah, I hope they hit some rockets at people too, because that's all part of the game. Is guys are going to hit balls hard, and you hope that the fielder's there. In that case, he hit it hard, and Jason's there to make the play.
Tim McClellan's the crew chief. He's behind the plate tonight. Mike Everett will have the plate tomorrow in the afternoon game. Andy Fletcher's at second, and Adrian Johnson did a nice job last night behind the plate, is over at third base. So 1 away, Ryan Ludwig is the hitter. Ludwig is 0 for 8 in this series. And he takes one on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Ludwig walked twice in last night's ball game.
They've been doing a good job with Ludwig and Pujols so far. These guys are going to get their hits. Ludwig and Pujols both are really good right-handed hitters.
Well, they are combined 2 for 18 so far in the first 2 games.
Yeah, and you know they're both home run hitters too, but they're good hitters. Albert Pujols is as good a hitter as anybody in the game. Ludwig's come on to be a heck of a player in the last couple of years.
2 balls, 1 strike to count. Make that 2-2 as Kendrick gets the outside part of the plate. Charlie Manuel also talked about Kyle Kendrick's tempo, that he feels like he needs a better tempo when he's out on the hill tonight. Just keep the infielders and outfielders involved and just get the flow of the game going. He certainly had that against the Atlanta Braves when he went 8 scoreless innings.
Well, you mentioned he's been good against the Cardinals. He had one game where the Phillies gave him 20 runs to work with.
Well, you know,
that was nice.
That's good. You can always throw strikes when you get 20 runs.
That was a couple years ago, and remember they went into a hitting funk after that game for about 3 months for some reason after they threw a 20 spot up against the Cardinals.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And a swing and a miss and a sinker that was coming in and coming in quickly. 2 away.
Did a good job. Brian Schneider catching him tonight. I think they did a nice job setting it up for this pitch. You know, Tim McCarver used to tell us all the time, it's how you got there. Not necessarily you get the guy out, but how you pitch to get to the kill pitch. And in that case, they were away with different stuff, away, and then boom, they shot a pitch back inside, and it looked like it surprised Ludwig.
Well, here's Albert Pujols, 1 for 6 in his career against Kyle Kendrick. Overall hitting .327. And Kyle moves him away a little bit, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. And the Phillies have certainly held Albert in check over his last 51 at-bats. 9 for 51 for Pujols. What makes those numbers so impressive is that prior to the 9 for 51 run, he was 9 for 26 against the Phillies with 4 home runs.
He had a big game on opening day here a few years ago. I think one of the reasons, you know, they obviously are doing a pretty good job of pitching it, but you know he doesn't see the Phillies that much. Albert Pujols probably wears out guys in his own division that he sees a lot more.
3 balls, no strikes the count. And Pujols takes one a little high, ball 4. So a 2-out walk. And that has been one of the issues for Kyle so far this year. He's now walked 11 in 24 and a third innings of work, which means that combine that with his 29 hits, there's a whole lot of base runners. That's right. It is Cinco de Mayo here in Philadelphia and all over the country.
Cinco de Mayo
celebration. Tomorrow is 6 de Mayo, which is also a celebration. It's Larry Anderson's birthday.
I was going to say that's a special Feliz Cumpleaños around here for us. Larry's birthday.
Matt Holliday is the hitter, the cleanup batter for the Cardinals, and Holliday takes a pitch low.
Scott and Lori Fransky were just living in fear for a while because they were told the due date for their child was May 6th.
That's right.
They were trying everything they could to hurry that up, and thankfully they did.
And everybody asked Scott and Lori, are you going to name him Larry if the baby is born on his birthday? And Scott very emphatically said no.
No, there was no thought involved in that.
Well,
no.
young Gus arrived much earlier than 6 de Mayo.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow will be a big day for Larry. Big night, probably more than day.
1-1 the count to Matt Holliday. Holliday, for his career, has 11 home runs against the Phillies. So his splits much better on the road compared to home at Busch Stadium.
Well, Holliday has one of those timing swings, and when he's on, he's just devastating. You watch how he just picks his foot up and drops it. Pujols does that a little bit, but Holliday a little more pronounced. And, you know, guys that do that, when their timing is just off a little bit, you can pitch to them. But his style, when he's hot, oh boy, look out. Watch him just pick his foot up and drop it.
A little low with that pitch, and it's 3-1. So after getting the first 2 batters with relative ease, Kendrick has walked Pujols, and now he's behind 3 balls and 1 strike to Matt Holliday.
He's gotten tentative with these 2 guys.
Colby Rasmus waits on deck.
now you really don't want to just challenge him with a fastball down the middle.
18th pitch of the inning for Kendrick, and it's a line drive towards center field. Victorino's there. He leaps at the last moment to make the catch. Boy, that ball was moving every which way as it went out toward Victorino. And the inning comes to a close. No runs, no hits. One man left, middle of the first. It's the Cardinals nothing, and the Phils coming up. Carlos Ruiz's picture, and boy, the crowd went crazy in appreciation of Carlos's game-winning home run last night. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup tonight. Does not include Carlos Ruiz. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Leading it off at center field, Shane Victorino. Placido Polanco bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Jason Worth. Raul Ibanez, the left fielder, bats sixth. Hitting seventh, Juan Castro. Brian Schneider making his first start since the 23rd of April. He's batting eighth. And batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Kyle Kendrick. And they will face a somewhat rejuvenated Brad Penny, who's making his sixth start in a Cardinals uniform.
Yeah, Penny's gotten off to a great start. He pitched pretty well when he went over the Giants last year. A real good game against the Phillies, in fact. And there are the numbers on Brad Penny wearing the pant legs way up and showing those distinctive Cardinals stockings here tonight. Look at that. That really looks different. Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report on Evidently, he's throwing a lot of splitters along with his curveball. He's pitched well against the Phillies. You used to see him a lot when he was with the Marlins. In one game in Los Angeles against the Phillies, he tore a bicep tendon and was out for the rest of the year.
Well, he is part of a five-man rotation that has gone 21 games without allowing a home run. The starters for the Cardinals. And he delivers a fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1 to Victorino. Another Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Dave Slicker of Chalfont, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Dave will win $100.
That was what was amazing about beating these guys last night. Even though it wasn't a starter who threw the home run, their staff doesn't throw home run balls. And it's not like they play in San Diego or New York City in the Mets ballpark, Citi Field. Busch Stadium in St. Louis is fair, but they jump out of that place.
Well, there are only 7 starters in the National League that have not allowed a home run, and 3 of them are on the Cardinals staff. And that is a bullet hit by Victorino, foul. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So Penny still has a really good fastball as a ball girl comes in and picks that one up.
Farron Frank, who is working the right field line for tonight's ball game.
Thank you, Tommy. But according to reports on him, he's throwing a lot of split fingers. And at any time, he'll throw it. Pretty happy with that baseball out there.
There is a foul ball by Victorino, and that looked like the split from Brad Penny.
Yep. That's the thing now. You know, he's in a good spot to throw it there. 2 strikes. But, you know, they say he'll throw it any time, and there it is. It's a good one.
Brad Penny pitched last year against the Phillies, a member of the San Francisco Giants, and he put together a gem. It was a 4-0 victory. The 2-2 again to Victorino. Swing and a miss. He got him on a split, and Victorino is down on strikes, 1 away here in the bottom of the first. During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Be a nice night for some Turkey Hill ice cream as Placido Polanco digs in. Polanco is 0 for 7 in this series, but boy, does he have good numbers against Brad Penny. 10 for 25 against Penny, with a home run, a .400 batting average.
Yeah, they're good.
I saw some highlights today of Placido playing for the Tigers and Penny playing for the Red Sox, and he put together some amazing at-bats against Penny. It was one hit after another as he hits that one softly past Sam Perlazzo in the third base coach's box. Brad Penny normally will throw his fastball in the mid-90s on a good day. He'll even hit 97 at times.
He got one there.
Yeah, and they say this year that he's kind of pulled it back a little bit, that his fastball is not in the mid to high 90s. He's slowing it down because they're trying to get him to be more of a control type of pitcher. But if he needs to throw at 97, he could probably still do it.
I was wondering if Dave Duncan was going to turn this guy into a sinker baller, but he didn't.
Dave Duncan, the longtime pitching coach for the Cardinals. He's been there as long as Tony La Russa, and this is La Russa's 15th year.
Well, he just threw Polanco a 2-1 split. There's his career numbers here in this ballpark. Real good.
And the 3-1 is at the knees for a strike. It's 3-2. A lot of times what Dave Duncan will do is from year to year he kind of sees a reclamation project around baseball, and if the guy has a good fastball, he thinks, hey, I could probably turn him into a pretty good starter again. Now, Brad Penny was not really a reclamation project, but he's having some early success with the Cardinals. And Polanco lines one-on-one, hop flag down by Schumacher, who hurries his throw, dug out by Polanco, or excuse me, by Pujols, and 2 away.
Hard to hit it much higher than that. That thing startled Penny, too, when it went flying by. That's a tremendous play by Schumacher and a really good play on the other end by Pujols. Throws a bullet into the dirt. He picked that one.
So Polanco's retired. 2 outs. Here's Chase Utley. Chase is second in the league in home runs with 8. And he leads the league in runs scored with 25. And you see his overall career numbers against Brad Penny. He's had a good homestand. Chase has 2 home runs on the stand, 6 for 19 overall. And here comes the first pitch to him. Inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Talk about what Duncan's done. He took Jason Marquis, made him into a sinker ball, and he had some good years. And last year was Joel Pinheiro, who had a very good season, turned into a sinker ball pitcher.
I think you can say the same about a number of other guys that Dave Duncan's had, including Chris Carpenter, who was always a good pitcher when he was with the Toronto Blue Jays, but was often injured at the tail end of his career with the Jays. And then he came here to St. Louis, and he's turned into a perennial Cy Young Award candidate.
Yeah, he's the one guy you missed in this series.
1-1 the count to Chase. And he chops it foul over the Phillies dugout. There's Chris Carpenter, who pitched very well on Sunday for St. Louis. We've said we have 2 very good teams, 2 really good managers, 2 really good pitching coaches. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's Adam Wainwright, who pitched in last night's game against Cole Hamels. 1-2 the count to Chase. And a little dribbler foul. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Charlie Manuel said today that the key to beating Brad Penny in his eyes is to make him throw pitches, to make him run up his pitch count early and make him work deep into at-bats. Chase rolls over on one, over towards second base. Schumacher makes an easier play this time to retire Chase, and the inning is over. Phillies go down in order here in the bottom of the first. We've completed one here in Philadelphia. No scores. We go to the second. Phillies with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Phillies game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Phillies.com to get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Oh, there is baseball everywhere around the Major League circuit. We go to the top of the second here in Philadelphia. No scores. Colby Rasmus leads it off. There were a handful of day games in the American League, one day game in the National League. And the first pitch to Rasmus is hit in the air deep down the right field line. Worth is on the run. It's going to stay in the yard. It's off the wall. And Colby Rasmus glides into second with a leadoff double. That's his 7th double of the season. And the first hit for the Cardinals.
Didn't sound like he hit it all that well either, but she said Tom, it carries to the base of the wall, and then it came right back to Jason Worth. See if Rasmus busted out of there. Well, he ran pretty hard right away because I don't think he thought it was a home run. And with Worth's arm and his ability to quick release a guy, he had to move to get into second base with that double.
So Jason got to it quickly, but Rasmus is now 4 for 4 in this series. And here's David Freese, who's the league's leading hitter. He's tied with Andre Ethier with a .360 batting average. And he takes the first pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Shown a really good ability to hit the ball the other way this year and in this series.
Well, Kyle in a little bit of trouble here at the top of the second. Chopper left side. That is not going to get the runner over to third. Good pitch by Kendrick. He got it in on his hands. 1 away.
Yeah, not a good at bat by Freese, who's been very impressive. He had a 1-0 count there, so if the pitch is in on him and he can't work it the other way, that's certainly one to just take and look for something away. There it is. The sinker came running in on his hands, and he winds up pulling it, and he pulled it right at Castro. No chance for the runner to go to Rasmus to go to third base.
So now Kendrick is a third of the way through. He's got 1 out here in the top of the second. Yadier Molina, the batter.
See who's a cover guy out there, because they want to make sure they turn around and look at Rasmus. Looks like it's Castro.
Rasmus goes. The pitch is taken for a strike. The throw by Schneider is in time. Polanco slapped the tag down. Oquendo and Rasmus don't think so. And here comes Tony La Russa.
Boy, that was good throws down low. I had a feeling he was going to run there because they were both back kind of far. And Kendrick comes right to the plate, and off went Rasmus on the first pitch. We'll take a look, and Tony La Russa is pointing where he thinks the tag was made and where the slide was. Is he in there? Let's take another angle. Is his foot on the back?
It looked like the tag was there just as the foot arrived.
It's really close. That's bang bang.
That is really close.
Yep.
Well, in that case, the tie does not go to the runner.
No,
goes to the third baseman.
And that's really, really huge for Kyle Kendrick there to so far escape the leadoff double.
No balls, 1 strike the count to Yadier Molina. A little low, 1-1.
So we talk about building confidence in a guy, and that's one of these situations. If he can get out of this inning, it can help build confidence and get you through some innings.
Molina has just 1 hit in 5 at bats against Kendrick. Kyle's fallen behind, 2-1. And that pitch is over for a strike. 2-2. One of the things you wonder about too with Kyle Kendrick, because he's only gone past the 5th inning 1 time, where his arm strength is. But in all those games where he's gone 5 innings, his pitch count was pretty high. Molina lunges at that one and fouls it down the right field line.
Yeah, and he's not one of those max effort guys out there. You know, when they build up, like a Penny you were talking about. You know, here's a guy big and he can get the laboring a little bit. A guy like Kendrick throwing a lot of sinkers, he can throw pitches.
He's got the count back even, 2-2 to Molina. And that one's hit hard. A fair ball down the third base line as it shoots off the bottom of that fence. And Molina hustling towards second. Ibanez, his throw is a little late. And Yadier Molina has a 2-out double. And that caught stealing is huge right now for Kyle Kendrick.
Scoreless game because of it. And the pitcher batting in the 8 hole for Tony La Russa. Penny comes up to hit now.
So Brian Schneider throwing out Colby Rasmus, trying to steal third.
Here's Molina whacking this thing down the third baseline. Looked like it went right over the bag.
Took an odd hop in front of the bag.
It really kicked left in a hurry. And Adrian Johnson was right on and said it went over the bag, or at least caught part of it.
Brad Penny, you see 0 for 11 this season. Lifetime 153 hitter. And he pulls that one softly towards short. Castro backs up on it, has plenty of time. Penny's retired, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left, and 1 big caught stealing. We head to the bottom of the second, and Ryan Howard is scheduled to lead it off.
in that hockey match. Gotta get the terminology right.
You got it. It was good. I'll try to help you, but don't lean on me.
I do know that the road to the Stanley Cup is a little bumpy right now for the Flyers. A win tonight make it a little easier. Ryan Howard getting set to lead things off here in the second. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Reds on a home run by Orlando Cabrera defeated the Mets 5-4 in 10 innings. 5th career walk-off home run for Cabrera. So the Phillies begin play tonight, a game up over the Mets in the National League East. And not only that, but also a game up against the Washington Nationals. 2 games ahead of the Florida Marlins. Ryan Howard starts things off here in the home second. And he takes a fastball low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Penny just as advertised, throwing mostly fastball splitter. Throwing a curveball. He threw 1 curveball to somebody, but he's basically 2 pitches right now.
It's a guy who's won 108 games during his career. An earned run average of just over 4. You look at him and see his career numbers, and he's had some pretty good seasons. A couple of years with the Dodgers, he won 16 games, 14 games with the Marlins. And you kind of walk away sometimes thinking, he can probably be better.
Oh, yeah. With his ability, he came along with that great Florida Marlins pitching staff. Dempster,
A.J. Burnett at the time.
A.J. Burnett, Burke.
That one's lying toward right field. Ludwig moves over, takes the sinker for the first out.
Rich Doobie had all those guys when they were kids, and just a tremendous staff, and they've all gone on to very good careers in the major leagues.
There's Rich Doobie, who is the longest tenured pitching coach in the National League East, and tonight in the other dugout is the longest tenured coach in Major League Baseball, and Dave Duncan. So as we said, 2 real good pitching coaches tonight. Jason Worth is the batter with 1 out, and Jason takes a fastball for a strike. Jason hitting .348 with 4 home runs and 18 runs batted in. And it's 1-1. See Penny, 48 victories, 3rd most in Marlins history. And there are the 3 pitchers that Wheels was talking about: Burnett, Penny, and Dempster, all in a row. They are making him throw some pitches, which Jason Worth will do.
Yeah, and it's a comfortable night. It's not one of those nights you're going to wear out from the heat. Boy, it is beautiful.
That one's in at the knees. 2-2 the count. Jason is riding a 26-game stretch in which he's reached base safely to start the season. There's the Bud Light rooftop where folks are taking in tonight's ball game. Even Brewers fans have found their way to Philadelphia. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Jason's down on strikes. That's the 2nd strikeout for Penny.
Got to mention Beckett in that group, too.
Yeah.
All those great pitchers. Well, this guy's still got some major cheese when he wants to throw it. That nice, easy delivery, and his fastball can explode, and it did there.
5 in a row retired by Penny. Raul Ibanez the hitter. Raul is riding a 6-game hitting streak. Overall hitting .232. His average is gradually getting better. Still just the 1 home run, and last night he had a big triple.
Yeah, he does this one on his own. Center fielder was playing well over in the left center field. He shoots this thing out towards the gap there in right center, and he could see where the ball was. He saw where the fielders were, and he just made a triple out of it. Carlos Ruiz knocked him in, and that was the only run until the 9th inning.
Until the 9th inning, when the Cardinals tied it up. And we went to the 10th, and Carlos Ruiz won it for the Phils 2-1.
That game last night was really good.
And there were a lot of things that came out of that game that were really good, too.
Yeah.
Not only the victory, but also what Cole Hamels did for the first 8+ innings, what Brad Lidge did in relief, what Jose Contreras did in relief. I mean, all really good signs.
Well, Charlie has to get some guys to the point where he can trust them.
In the air to left center field. Rasmus moving over into the alleyway. He'll give way to Matt Holliday, and the left fielder makes the catch, and the inning comes to a close. Another 1-2-3 inning for Brad Penny. He's faced 6. He's retired 6. We head on to the 3rd. Question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan forum section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, when Bob Force threw a no-hitter against the Phillies in 1978, which Philly should have had a single and which Cardinal was given an error on a controversial call that saved the no-hitter? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
Now, those are my kind of questions because I remember that stuff. I'll take a shot at it.
Don't do it now. 7th inning.
No. Maybe I can get it.
I know you're new to the game, but
saw that game, of course. It was a very, very cold Sunday afternoon in St. Louis in April.
I have to tell you that one of the participants in that answer was one of the first 3D trading cards that I got out of a box of Frosted Flakes when I was a kid.
Well, I'll be interested to see which one of the principals involved that was.
Wish I kept it. Those were some cool cards. Brendan Ryan leads it off here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, 3D's making a comeback.
And Frosted Flakes had it before its time. Ryan hitting 198.
Is that Tony the Tiger?
That's Tony the Tiger. Off the outside corner, 2-1. Ryan is 2 for 8 in this series, batting from the number 9 spot. Month of April, he wound up having the 4th lowest batting average in the National League. But he is their everyday shortstop in St. Louis. It's that one the opposite way, a foul ball.
It's a very high energy player and productive. You know, you can hit him in the 8-hole like this, and he's I don't think he's going to be one of those guys that takes it personal. I mean the 9-hole, and think, what am I doing down here? You know, he understands why Tony La Russa is doing it.
Chopper to the right side. Chase Utley has it, spins, throws on one hop, and it's in time to get Ryan. Dave McKay, the first base coach, tossed his arms up into the air as Mike Everett made that call. That's a really good play by Chase Utley.
Here comes Tony La Russa again. He's going to go both base umpires here in this game. He worked Adrian Johnson earlier. You know, when your coach throws up his hands like that and the runner complains, you almost have to come out and have a chat.
Mike Everett is the first base umpire, and Tony looks a little more demonstrative as he goes out to argue with Mike Everett than he did with Adrian Johnson. Well, Brendan Ryan cost himself that base hit more because he dove than anything else.
Well, we talk about sliding head first into first. This is a great play by Chase Utley, and he's just trying to throw it in the area.
You know, his left hand is the one that looked like it reached the bag first, but I don't know if it reached it before the throw got there, just because of the slide.
Can't tell.
It almost looks like his upper body slid past the bag, and then he hit the bag with his hand.
Well, this is how they get hurt. This is how.
No, maybe not. Looked like he was on the bag at that point.
That's how guys get hurt, though. You don't want them sliding head first into first because they break their fingers, break their hands. Here's another look at it. Does he touch the bag with that hand going by? It's got to be the left hand because the right one never gets near it.
Yeah, right there he hit it.
So close.
Yeah, naked eye, it looked like he was safe.
You know, maybe he didn't run through the bag because Ryan Howard had so much of the bag and it would have been a collision. But you never get there faster by going head first.
Yeah, a lot of times you go head first because you're trying to avoid the throw. In that case, the throw was on the top side of the bag. Well, nonetheless, one man down. There's another look at it. Ryan's on the bag. Brendan Ryan, that is, but Ryan Howard does not have the ball as of yet.
So he's safe, but he's out.
Correct. And it's 1-2 to Schumacher, excuse me. There's Mike Everett, who will have the plate tomorrow afternoon.
So two close calls tonight have both gone the Phillies' way.
Schumacher hit the ball hard his first time up. He lined out to right. Adrian Johnson made the first call, which was a big one because Rasmus had doubled to start the second and could have scored on a double by Yadier Molina, but was thrown out trying to steal third on a good throw by Brian Schneider. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on a changeup. Good pitch from Kyle Kendrick. 2 away here in the third. And speaking of the third inning, the third inning is our thirst inning. It is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of the thirst inning. Some power in that swig right there.
It's that fist that Jason Worth had, wasn't it, during the parade?
That's right. Walking up and down the float.
Yeah.
And a toast.
Here's to you.
2 outs for Ryan Ludwig, who struck out his first time up. And Ludwig takes one inside. Towards center field. Victorino's got a beat on it. Settling under it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals here at the top of the third. A very comfortable inning for Kyle Kendrick. We go to the bottom of the third. It's a scoreless game.
your local tri-state Toyota dealers. Go Phillies, go Toyota. Toyota moving forward. By Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. By Xfinity from Comcast, proud partner of the Phillies. And by Suzuki and the amazing Kizashi Sports Sedan. Well, Cinco de Mayo and no scores. We go to the bottom of the third. Cinco de Mayo, which is not really a holiday in the country of Mexico. It is in the town of Puebla, where the Battle of Puebla took place in 1862, when the troops from Mexico defeated the French, and hence where the celebration came from. It's more celebrated in the United States than anything else. Juan Castro leads things off here in the bottom of the third, and he fouls the first pitch off. Castro making his 19th start at shortstop. See, he has struggled in his last 27 at-bats against the Cardinals, but that could stretch back to 2005 for Juan Castro.
No telling.
A little roller towards second base. Schumacher's got it. Castro's retired, one away. And 7 in a row retired by Brad Penny. Hey, the Chicago Cubs are going to be visiting Philadelphia for just 2 days. The Phillies will make up the third game out in Chicago in a 4-game series. Well, your chance to see the Cubbies begins on Wednesday, May 19th at 7:05, Thursday the 20th at 1:05, which is a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com.
Excuse me, Tom. Phillies got a break this year with that. There's Tony La Russa, who's been he can fry an egg on his neck right now after what's going on the bases. Phillies catch a break this year with those. You know, you always have that 1 week where you have the 2-2, and when you're traveling, that can be brutal. This year they're home. They have the Pirates and the Cubs. Last year we did what? Colorado? No, we did St. Louis, New York, and wind up in New York at 5 in the morning or whatever it was, and just two-game series, and they have to do that every year, I think, because of interleague play. But this year they get to play at home with the Pirates and Cubs, which is it's good. That's a good part of the schedule for them.
Now, the Cubs have been somewhat erratic to start the season. They are 5 games behind the Cardinals in second place in the Central. Alfonso Soriano has not been erratic. He has got 8 hits, including 5 home runs in the last 4 ball games for Chicago.
They were booing him out of town, and then he got hot the way he can, and now he'll go stone cold again at some point. That's just the way Soriano plays a game. Can't help it.
2-1 pitch to Brian Schneider. And a fastball off the outside corner, 3-1.
Pirates are beating the Cubs tonight 3-0 in the third inning. Now McClellan's catching it.
Yeah, there's some chirping going on.
Yeah, you can hear it. They're just not happy over there right now.
Well, look out, Andy Fletcher. You're going to be next.
Fletcher's hiding out there at second tonight, trying to stay out of trouble.
He got in enough trouble in that first game.
He had an interesting first game.
3-1, popped up foul off the third base line. Over his freeze toward the railing, has room and makes the catch. Right along the advertising panel, just in front of the tarp. And they're 2 away. The ball just didn't kick back to the crowd. It just kept kicking up the left field line in foul territory.
That's a really good play by Freeze, too. That ball's going to spin back a little bit towards the field and play. And he knows that, and he gets to the point where he knows he's still safe, and then he waits for it. And, you have a tendency sometimes to overrun those because you start looking for the wall. You get too close, and you look up, and the spin is taking it back over your head. You can see he had to reach back.
2 outs. Here's Kyle Kenrick, who has hit this in 6 at-bats this year. Charlie Manuel talked today about the pitchers and their bunting ability, because during this series we've seen a defensive display put on by Yadier Molina, picking up pitchers' bunts and then throwing to the lead base to get the lead runner. And Charlie said, it's up to the pitchers to get the bunts down better, and they work on it. It's a rhythm thing. And he said, but don't forget, the guy behind the plate is a Gold Glover. And a call, strike 3. Kendrick is down on 3 pitches. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils once again. Brad Petty's faced 9. He's retired all 9. We go to the 4th in a scoreless game. Entertain a group of 25 or more. Will consider a Phillies game. Maybe consider the Bud Light rooftop, which you see in the background there. Take advantage of the many dates with ticket discounts and get your group name in lights as well. Want something more? We'll consider one of the group party areas for pregame and in-game entertaining. For more information, see group ticket section on Phillies.com or call 215-463-5000. Or if you're one of those group party areas tonight, you're seeing a pretty good pitchers duel once again, just as we saw last night. Cole Hamels and Adam Wainwright. And tonight it's Brad Penny against Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick has retired 4 in a row and looks very good in the top of the third. And he will go back to work here in the top of the fourth against 3, 4, and 5 for the Cardinals. And speaking of last night, Cole Hamels, 8 strikeouts, 8+ innings, and boy, was his fastball good. And the Cardinals, once they settled in on the fastball, then got a buffet of changeups from Cole Hamels. Cole wound up pitching into the 9th inning and gave way to the bullpen after a run had scored. And the Phillies won it in the 10th, but he was really good in last night's game. First pitch to Albert Pujols is a sinker taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Pujols walked his first at bat. And a line drive base hit. Well, that is the 3rd hit of the series for Pujols, and he's aboard to lead off the 4th. Well, as we go to the 4th inning, Gary Matthews joins us. And Sarge, Albert Pujols last year won his 2nd straight National League MVP. One of 10 players in baseball history to have won 3 Most Valuable Player awards. And I don't know if he's done.
Wow. No, he isn't done. Still has a lot of good years left.
Well, some of the names that are on that list of 3-time MVP winners: Mickey Mantle, Roy Campanella, Yogi Berra. Jimmy Fox was the first 3-time winner. He won 2 with the A's in 32 and 33, and then came back in 38 to win an MVP with the Boston Red Sox. And of course, the Phillies had a 3-time most valuable player in Mike Schmidt. You see the resume on Albert Pujols. On the hands, a pop-up foul.
Well, he's pretty steady, though. I mean, you look at his stroke, he feels he's in a slump right now, the way that he's hitting.
A 10-game hitting streak.
That's exactly right, but he doesn't feel that he's hitting the ball and driving it the way that he's accustomed to doing it.
Well, that's good. Let him feel that way for another day. 0-2 the count to Holiday, who lined out to center his first time up. Crowd wanted that one. It was a little low, and it's 1-2. A swing and a miss, and Holiday is down on strikes. 1 away here in the 4th inning. That's the 3rd strikeout for Kendrick.
He usually has a problem in putting away hitters. See where this pitch was. Actually, it was a changeup, didn't get to the plate. Again, when you're throwing strikes around the plate, you're going to get hitters to swing at balls. Normally you wouldn't, but that ball was out in front of the plate. Maybe Holiday was guessing.
Holiday now has gone down on strikes 4 times in the last 2 ball games. In fact, in this series, the Phillies pitchers have struck him out 6 times overall. Colby Rasmus doubled his last time up, so he's 4 for 4 now in the series. And Kendrick with a fastball off the outside corner.
Along with Gary Matthews, I'm Tom McCarthy, live from Citizens Bank Park here in Philadelphia. It's game 3 of a 4-game set. The series winds up tomorrow with a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. It's a gorgeous night and another sold-out crowd. And a pitch that ties Rasmus up as he fouls it off into the glove of Schneider. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Looked like a little bit of a cutter as it moved in on his hands. And he hit a ball, a fastball in his last time up, hit it off the wall. So when you get it in, it tells me you got to make sure it's off the plate.
Kyle seems to be awfully worried about Pujols over at first. Took a long look over there before he fired that pitch to the plate. Albert does have 2 stolen bases this season, but he's more of a pick your spot kind of guy.
Yeah, he'll pick a spot, but he'll have that running lead. That's why you want to stop him if you're a pitcher. Hold the ball. That will stop a runner right in his tracks.
Howard holds him on. The 1-2 doesn't come back enough, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Kendrick has reached 50 pitches now with 1 out here in the 4th. Been a lot of talk about Kendrick's spot in the rotation. And as Rich Doobie said the other day when he was talking about Kyle making another start, he said, there are guys down in AAA, but Kyle is the most ready pitcher to pitch in the big leagues, at least at this point. There's a foul ball by Rasmussen. He's alive 3-2. Jay Happ threw again today. And Jay has thrown now on 3 consecutive days, but only 60 feet. In fact, Jay said today that he backed up a little bit, but they're not sure when Jay is going to come back. You know, talking with Jay today, he feels pretty good. There were reports that he may not be ready till the first week of June. He thinks it'll be before that. Pujols doesn't go. 3-2 pitch, bounce foul. And the count holds 3-2.
Well, one of the things, you don't want him to come back too early. If he comes back too early, that means that it'll take that much longer for the injury to go on and heal. So you want to be able to take his time and get back. There's a lot of season that's left. And not only that, the league is all jumbled up, so there's no reason to rush anybody back.
Well, and I thought the comment, too, about there's nobody that's ready right now down in the minor leagues. I mean, Andrew Carpenter is 3-2. He's pitched well for Lehigh Valley, but Kyle is the most ready for a major league start. I mean, that's a pretty telling comment from Rich Doobie, because even though Kyle struggled, he's the guy that they have confidence in right now to pitch up here in the big leagues.
Well, and also more experience than some of the other guys.
Good
and
point.
Not only that, he's been around the game here and being able not to get in awe of being here in the major leagues.
Well, the Phillies do begin play tonight, 1 game up in the National League East. So even with Kyle's struggles, they're still in first place. And as Charlie Manuel even said the last couple of days, he's in the major leagues. I expect him to pitch well. If I didn't expect that, he wouldn't be in the major leagues.
Well, they do feel that he can get that sinker going. He just needs to get more ground balls, easier outs if he can.
Well, he just got the second out on that ground ball by Colby Rasmus. Here's David Freese, who takes a pitch inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Freese grounded to shortstop his first time up, 0 for 1. That one's right on the outside part of the plate. Then it evens things up at 1-1. There's the cutter, and Kyle Kendrick has thrown a few cutters during the first 4 innings of the game.
Start getting those easy outs, easy ground balls, and keep that pitch count down. He can go more innings. That's a ball.
He saw Albert Pujols out of his peripheral vision, and it kind of startled him, and he stopped as he was coming to the plate. So a balk moves him over to third.
I don't think, though, Albert was trying to steal third base with 2 outs. You can see now he'll look back, and he just lost concentration, basically, because he was facing home plate. See where Pujols has kind of faked him. Don't think he was going to be going there.
Freese tries to check his swing. No swing, says Mike Everett, the first base umpire. Well, it looked like the way his body twisted that he may have gone around on that one. But the call goes to the Cardinals, and Charlie Manuel's up on the top step of the dugout. Yeah, see, I think he went there. I know the intent may not have been there, but I think the bat crossed the plane.
Well, he called it right away. You can always call it one way or the other for whichever team basically you want, because it always looks like you swing, and especially when you look at it on the replay.
He doesn't look happy right there.
No, he isn't happy.
He's not looking at him. Charlie was ejected from Monday night's ball game. Tony La Russa hasn't been happy with the calls of Adrian Johnson and Mike Everett tonight. Even chirped a little bit at Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire. The 2-1 pitch. Lays off 3-1. Ball 4, and now runners on first and third. That walk by Kyle is the second one he's issued in the game. And the number 7 batter, Yadier Molina, is due up. Hey, the Cleveland Indians will be here in Philadelphia. It's the final interleague game here at Citizens Bank Park this season. It'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 22nd through the 24th. The 24th is a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. We don't see too much of the Indians anymore. The Indians are now over in Arizona for spring training. It used to be that they were in Winter Haven, so Phillies saw them every once in a while. Molina takes the first pitch low. 1 ball and no strikes. He doubled his first time up. While he was up, Colby Rasmus was thrown out trying to steal third. No score here in the top of the 4th. Toward right field, Jason Worth heading back, reaching up, makes the catch. The inning is over. So Kendrick strands 2, including 1 in scoring position, but he's through the 4th. No scores. We go to the home 4th.
official soft drink of the Phillies. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By your participating Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit chevydealer.com. And by McDonald's, where a large sweet tea is just $1. Oh, in front of the Citizens Bank Corporate Center in Center City, one of the Fanatic statues that are sprinkled all around the city of Philadelphia. Different artists put different designs on those Fanatic statues. That was a good one. That was a nice picture of Harry that was on the left side of the Fanatics jersey. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Brad Penny has not allowed a base hit. He's not allowed a base runner. He's faced 9. He's retired all 9. So back to the top of the order we go as the Phillies and the Cardinals are scoreless. It'll be Shane Victorino, Placido Polanco, and Chase Utley. Shane struck out his first time up.
Penny's kind of changed his delivery. He used to be maximum effort. Now he'll start to wind up. He doesn't pick the target up until late. That's one of the changes I've seen that he's made.
What do you think he's looking at, Sarge? I mean, I would think that as a hitter, you're wondering, are you watching what we're doing here?
You would think that as a hitter, but I'm sure Duncan had something to do with changing him and maybe just to relax him a little bit more. Again, he used to be maximum effort on every single pitch.
There's a flare towards center. That's the first hit of the night for the Phils. And Victorino's aboard. So Shane with his third hit in the series.
Something out over the plate. They've been throwing off-speed pitches. You see how it goes away? That time he stays right on the ball, not trying to pull it, just hitting the pitch where it was, and he got good results.
Well, you faced a pitcher, and I know he was a lefty, so it didn't concern you. But you faced a pitcher in Fernando Valenzuela who didn't look at the plate when he came with his pitch. And, you know, sometimes when a guy throws as hard as Brad Penny, you're wondering, well, does he know where it's going to go?
And there's your difference, because he throws much harder, and the other side is Valenzuela throwing from the left side. So easier to pick up when you're a right-handed batter. Penny throws the ball much harder. He's got the fastball up to 97. The guy looking down at the ground, you want him looking at that target the whole time.
Well, Polanco hit the ball hard his first time up, but he grounded out to second. Another toss over to first. Phillies have stolen just 8 bases this year, which is last in the National League. And that is as stunning a stat as they have had. But don't forget, Jimmy Rollins has not been in the starting lineup since the second week of the season. There goes Victorino. Pitch is hit in the air, deep toward left field. Holiday venturing back to the warning track. Gone! Home run for Placido Polanco. A 2-run shot, and the Phils jump out on top, 2-0.
Now there's a base runner getting the batter a fastball. Penny thinking maybe he's going to end up stealing the base. The ball was hard out over the plate. Polanco putting a good swing on that ball and driving it out into left center. No doubt about it when he hits it. Look at that fastball as it comes right over the plate. Very difficult for a major league hitter to miss that pitch.
Well, Charlie Emanuel is happy with that approach, and I think what you said, Sarge, is right on. Here's Chase Utley with nobody out. Phillies lead it 2-0. And Chase lines one toward right. Ludwig goes back, and he's fortunate that it was sinking right at him. And that's the first out. By the way, the home run by Polanco, which was the 4th of the year for Polly, means that Dave Slicker of Chalfont, Pennsylvania, has won $100, courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
You can see Victorino and Polanco actually talking, and just with that little fake like he was going to steal, pitcher will lose his concentration, try and get the ball to the plate quickly, and that's what he did, but it went out quicker.
Oh, it sure did. And now Ryan Howard, who flied out his first time up.
0 for 1. By the way, that's the first home run allowed by Brad Penny this year. And it's the first home run allowed by the Cardinals starters in 21 games.
That's an amazing stat in itself.
2-0 the count to Howard.
Well, one of the reasons they're in first place and playing the way that they have been, getting good starting pitching, and evident because they haven't been giving up the long ball and haven't been walking a lot of the hitters.
Check swing. Up the third base side. Freeze has got it. Off balance throw. Not in time. Ryan Howard with an infield hit. You don't see that often, but it's the second time it's happened this year.
Well, a lot of times hits just like that can get a hitter going. Here's an excuse me swing right there as Ryan takes a look at it and then starts running for all he has as he stretches out at the last minute. Davey Lopes giving that safe sign. There it is again. You can see right now he stretches at that last minute. Davey says safe.
Oh, good call by Davey Lopes. And now Howard's aboard with one out.
Well, those hits always bring smiles to a batter's face.
Jason lays off a breaking ball that drops in for a strike. Mentioned that Jason has reached base safely in 26 straight games to start the year. Pretty impressive. In fact, it's the longest stretch the Phillies have had since 1920. Last year, Nick Markakis of the Baltimore Orioles reached base safely in the first 26 games. Just scanning the stats over the years. Albert Pujols in 2008 reached base safely in the first 39 games for the St. Louis Cardinals. Polanco still thinking about that home run. Second one he's hit against Penny in his career. And Jason fouls it off. 2-2 the count.
Well, he's in a great spot in hitting that second spot. Got Utley and Howard hitting behind him. Then you have a fast runner in Victorino that's on. He's not going to be throwing a bunch of splits or breaking balls with Victorino on first base. Not only that, you have Chase coming up behind him, so you're going to get pretty good pitches to hit.
I still think your point about it being kind of a running situation.
Oh, yeah.
Meant that Polanco probably thought he was getting a fastball, and then Victorino breaking broke Penny's concentration. As Worth is down on strikes, 2 away.
Yeah, not a good swing. He's off balance on that swing. Not a good fluid swing. He usually swings a little better than that. Take a look at this. He's off the plate. See how he's just reaching for the ball as he not really taking a good look at it.
Oh, flat out to the gap in left center field his first time up. 0 for 1. Lays off, and he's ahead 1 ball and no strikes.
No, Penny's been pitching 90, 91 on that fastball, and then when he needs a little extra, he can go back and get it, as opposed to trying to throw the ball 95, 97 every fastball and then getting wild. A little bit more deliberate.
Ryan Howard's aboard. With 2 outs, he reached on an infield single. That came after Placido Polanco hit a 2-run home run to give the Phillies the early lead. Off the hands, a looper toward right. Ludwig misjudged it, but then was able to get back on it to make the catch, and the inning is over. Up the Phils, strike first. A 2-run home run by Placido Polanco. One of 3 hits in the inning. Phillies strand 1. We go to the 5th.
Analysis from former Philly Ricky Bottalico, plus exclusive clubhouse reactions on Phillies Post-Game Live, presented by Sloan Toyota right here on Comcast Sportsnet. It's a busy night here in South Philadelphia, Sarge. Got the Phillies leading at 2-0 here thanks to a home run by Polanco. Across the street, the Flyers are playing the Bruins. They are in the second period. Flyers are trailing at 2-1. They trail the series 2 games to 0. As Brad Penny leads off the 5th. And it takes a pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. Penny grounded out his first time up. And off the end of the bat, right past Kendrick's glove, but a nice hop for Castro. And because Brad Penny doesn't run like Ricky Henderson, he's able to throw him out for the first out.
Yeah, Castro showing some range, got a good jump on that ball, hit it up the middle. Good thing Kyle didn't touch that ball to slow it down at all. Wasn't hit very hard, but nevertheless, good play. See it going up the middle as he reaches for the ball, and once he catches it, gathers himself. Got him in plenty of time.
Oh, Jimmy Rollins, who Juan Castro is playing for, the shortstop, is scheduled to head down to Florida to continue his rehab. When the Phillies are finished up with this homestand. Jimmy hit again today in the cage. And I think the Phillies hope that he'll be back sometime in the next couple of weeks. But again, they're not going to rush his injury or his rehab, Jay Happ's rehab, or even Ryan Matson, who we learned yesterday was going to be gone for at least 8 weeks. As Ryan pounds that one on the ground to third, picked up on the short hop by Polanco. And Kendrick has 2 ground ball outs here in the 5th.
Those are the things that will save Kyle Kendrick. Those ground balls early in the count. Therefore, he doesn't have to go to that 2-2, 3-2. Nice play by Polanco coming in, taking that on the short hop.
Now, if he has to go 2-2, 3-2, you talk about predictable counts. Charlie Emanuel talks about have-to counts. That means fastball?
That's right.
And
or his best pitch, or the pitch he feels comfortable. And usually everybody can tell what pitch that's going to be just by whether or not he's getting it over. And usually he doesn't throw that off-speed pitch that is 3-2. Cole Hamels does that, which is his changeup.
There's Schumacher, who's 0 for 2. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to him.
It's a good pitch.
And now the difference is it's 0-2. So he can throw a cutter, he can throw a changeup, he can throw a slider, or he can throw the sinker.
Yeah, I want to get it out of the zone. And preferably, he had that hard slider that he could throw, get that hitter to check swing or to swing over the top of.
Now Kendrick instead comes with another sinker that he fouls off. It remains no balls and 2 strikes. There's that changeup, and Schumacher just pushes it the opposite way for a base hit. So he's aboard with 2 outs.
Well, even though that ball was down, it's just not really a very good pitch. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Hitter's going to be waiting back, trying to look at the ball. You throw him a changeup. He was able to stay back, get good wood on it. See how he just stayed back there? Wasn't tricked to try and get out in front. You get 2-2. That might be a better pitch because the hitter might be out in front of that.
Ludwig is 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's fly to right. And a swing and a foul at the first pitch. It's 0-1. I mentioned that Kyle Kendrick's ERA against the Cardinals for his career is 2.25, which is the lowest that he's had against any team in the National League.
There's a slider there that he throws, fouls it straight back. Hitter fouls it straight back. That means he was right on the pitch.
And that pitch was right on Brian Schneider's mask, too.
This is down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ludwig. Let's see what Ludwig has done tonight. Struck out his first time up, and he went down swinging. And that fly ball out was to Jason Worth back in the 3rd. 0 for 10 in the series. It's that one hard toward 3rd. Behind the back, Polanco. Short way to 2nd. In time to get Schumacher. 3 ground ball outs in this 5th inning for Kyle Kendrick. He strands a base runner. The Cardinals picked up 1 hit. We go to the middle of the 5th with the Phillies leading it by 2. In their community. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. To nominate, go to peopleallstars.com. Last year, the Phillies were represented by Brad Hennifer, who was able to go to St. Louis for the All-Star Game. Davey Lopes was there because the Phillies coaching staff was in St. Louis for the All-Star Game. And they'll be there again this year in Anaheim. Last of the 5th, Phillies lead it 2-0. And Juan Castro leads it off. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to 2nd his first time up. And he lines that one toward left. He got it off the end of the bat. And Holiday is over and takes care of him on the first pitch.
Yeah, you're right. Hanger, breaking ball. Castro's kind of staying right on it. Just didn't go out and get it as he got it on that end of the bat. Hits it on the good part of the bat. Got a good chance of getting out of here.
Now with 1 out, here is Brian Schneider. Schneider popped out his first time up. I think Brian Schneider knew that when he signed with the Phillies that he may not get a whole lot of starts because Carlos Ruiz is so durable. But he hasn't started a game since the 23rd of April.
Yeah, I think they're different catchers, too. I think Carlos Ruiz, for me, calls a little bit better game. He mixes up his pitches a little more. There's Carlos. And I think Snyder calls a lot more fastballs.
No one's going to find the seats, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Giants have taken a 3-0 lead over the Marlins. Aaron Rowan, back off the DL, made an unbelievable catch last night in that extra inning game that the Giants won over Florida. Also hit a bomb last night. And he's got his 3rd home run of the season. 1-1 pitch to Schneider. And a chopper towards 2nd. Schumacher charging. 2 outs.
Talking about a player, Aaron Rowan, and just giving up his body. This guy has more injuries and never seen a wall he didn't like or a ball that he wouldn't dive at.
Well, if you talk to Charlie Manuel, the Phillies won the World Series a year after Aaron Rowan left. And if you ask Charlie about the players who made such a difference in the clubhouse for the Phillies, he'll point to Chase, his presence, the personalities of Jimmy Rollins, and all of that. But he also talks about Pat Burrell. He also talks about Aaron Rowan. And Rowan's kind of setting the foundation for this ball club and teaching them how to win and how to go about their business, and that rubbed off on a lot of guys, and it eventually led to the World Championship in 2008.
He's a blue-collar type of player, meaning that he comes to work every day to do whatever he can to win the ball game.
Now Kendrick flares one toward right, and Schumacher is able to track it down, and Kendrick still without a base hit here in 2010. But he is not allowed a run so far on the mound. He'll go to the 6th, leading it 2-0. The lineup. Every night opposing pitchers dread what could occur because of the weapons the Phillies possess. Over a 5-day span, the bats delivered in big ways, including an improbable win during late and extra innings in San Francisco, and then again Sunday against the Mets' top thrower. The Phillies lineup on any given night can explode. It did again this week, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Out in Ashburn Alley, the standing room only crowd wandering around enjoying a beautiful night for baseball. I was out there today up on the Bud Light rooftop, and Sarge, it is a great view to sit and watch a game. If you can't get a seat, you get a standing room only ticket. There's so many great spots in this ballpark to soak in the atmosphere.
I agree wholeheartedly. And anywhere you walk, you can see the ballpark just about.
I was also out toward the entrance ways out in left center field, beyond the video board, and the other side of the video board. Great thing out there. There's the lineup that's up there every single night with the players' cards that signifies where they bat in the order. Pretty neat.
So what were you doing out there?
Just wandering around, taking in the ballpark, taking in the sights and sounds.
Okay.
Truth be told, we were taping another edition of the Charlie Manuel television show.
All right. I was going to say, I've never seen it.
Albert Pujols, the batter, and the count 1-1 to Pujols. He walked his first time up, singled in the 4th. So 1 for 1.
He has a little bit of an open stance. You can see that he doesn't stride very far at all. A lot of times not at all. Just pick his foot up and put it down. But he still stays on his back leg. And that's just his loading position as he's getting ready to try and hit the ball.
He loads and pops it up to straightaway center field. Phillies have kept Albert Pujols in the ballpark during this series, which is a good thing. And there's one out here in the top of the 6th. Sarge, I think I know the answer to this, but is there any rhyme or reason as to why You know, there are guys like Albert Pujols have open stances, or guys like Matt Holliday, who is crushing some balls in BP. Look how far that one went.
Wow, with more of a closed stance.
Look at that one, up to the top of Harry the K's.
Well, each hitter has his own type of style of hitting. But usually all the good hitters, when you get ready to hit, they're making contact the same way. Just all of the hitters, whether or not it's Chase Utley or Pujols, Howard.
Well, here's another one from Matt Holliday during BP. Go ahead, Sarge, say it. Bam.
Well, look how far the ball. Ooh, look out. I'm going to need a dentist. That ball hit you there in the face. Well, that ball just hit a ton.
2-0 the count to Matt Holliday. He breaks his bat, a chopper toward first. Kendrick is there to cover. 2 outs. Oh, he hits him that far in BP, but Kendrick gets him off balance here in the game. And with 2 outs, the number 5 hitter, Colby Rasmus, will be due up. And there's a guy who could put on a show during batting practice. And also during the game, 583 career home runs for Mark McGwire. 12-time All-Star. And people used to come out when the Cardinals were at the vet. They used to come out early to watch him take batting practice.
Yeah, I think they did that everywhere he went, and he would put on a show at hitting balls out of the ballpark further and further.
Colby Rasmus, the hitter, with 2 outs. And that one misses outside, 1-0. Remember the year that McGwire passed Roger Maris for the most home runs in a season, as Rasmus skies one deep down the right field line, hooking toward the corner, and it's foul on out of play.
Well, that swing he took was straight up.
Kind of like the swing he took his first time up. Anyway, when McGwire passed Roger Maris that year, everywhere he went, people came to the ballpark early to watch his batting practice. Now, he has since apologized to the Maris family, because it came out that he used performance-enhancing drugs to help his cause that year and subsequent years. But it doesn't diffuse the fact that he hit some really long home runs.
Yeah, he hit some home runs along with, Sammy Sosa. I mean, different ways you can look at that.
A line drive caught by Ryan Howard, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals here in the 6th. It is the second 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Kendrick, and the guy that gave him the lead, Placido Polanco, is due up when we return. To you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by your local Dodge dealers. Bottom of the 6th inning. The top of the order is up for the Phils. And Last time we were in this situation, the top of the order got the rally going that led to the 2 runs. Shane Victorino led off the 4th with a single. And then as he broke towards second, Brad Penny delivered a fastball to Placido Polanco. Then Polanco delivered it to the first row of seats in left center field. So that's it for the offense tonight. Phillies with 2 runs on 3 hits. The Cardinals no runs on 4 hits. And Victorino hits one in the air deep to right field. Ludwig going back to the warning track. Gone! Solo home run for Shane Victorino. It's his 3rd of the homestand. And the Phillies now lead it 3-0.
I got to tell you, what a great swing there by Victorino as he just drops the head of the bat right on the ball. As it goes out, he's all smiles. The flying Hawaiian, as you can see a little Cinco de Mayo hat. Now watch this pitch here. It is down, and watch how he drops the head of the bat. Bam! As it gets out of here. Foot down. When he gets his foot down at any of the hitters, the ball's going to go a long way. Great swing by Victorino.
6 home runs now for Shane. 23 runs batted in. And Polanco takes a curve high and in. It's 1-0. This homestand did not start out that well for Shane on Friday night, but he has certainly picked up the tempo since that first game.
Boy, he sure has.
Polanco skies one. Right center field. That's pretty deep. Ludwig into the alleyway. Has room. And 1 away. He got that one down on the hands a little bit. Well, we mentioned that Brad Penny had not given up a home run before tonight. 34 2/3. In fact, it took 37 2/3 before he gave up his first of the year. And it just took 2 more for him to give up his second one. It came off the bat of Shane Victorino.
He's got so many different weapons, so many different players that can just carry the ball club themselves. Victorino can do that for a time. We've seen Ryan Howard when he's hitting. No one else has to hit. Jason Worth, another player that can do the same thing. They don't just have to count on one particular hitter in order for this ball club to win.
It's nice when you have that luxury.
Oh, and then when they're all hitting, the opposition just has literally no chance.
Shane goes the opposite way and picks up a base hit to left. Or excuse me, Chase hits one the opposite way. I still have Victorino's home run on my mind.
Another good swing, not trying to pull the ball. No, you start to have good at-bats after good at-bats. You wear the pitcher down mentally. That's when they'll start making a few mistakes. See the total pitches Penny has thrown.
Well, 54 straight sellouts here at this ballpark as more than 44,000 are watching this one. It's a 3-0 Phillies lead here in the bottom of the 6th, and Ryan Howard the hitter. And Ryan fouls the first pitch off. No balls and 1 strike. Ryan had a swing and bunt his first time up. Or last time up, I should say. And he flied out to right his first time up. Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, Ryan closer to the plate now than he has been. They still will pitch him in, but he's in a situation where, from his stance there, if he gets ready to approach the ball and if he's not able to see it out front, that means that's a ball. But it takes you some time to develop that type of strategy as a hitter.
There was a curve that was coming right back toward his zone. Nice play by that young lady, getting a souvenir.
Usually the hitters that are hot are the ones where the pitchers will make the mistakes because they're a little bit afraid to throw to that hitter. The guys that make easy outs, the pitchers just go through them with no problem.
Well, Ryan fouls that one into the glove of Molina, and he's down on strikes for the second out. 5 strikeouts for Penny. And 2 outs here in the home 6th. Then I'll bring Jason Worth to the plate.
This is just a bad pitch. A sinker, and he's throwing a lot. Actually, that is a split. As you can see, the ball tumble. Ball starting up high and then fading out of the zone. He's throwing a lot more splits tonight. Usually throws a lot of fastballs or a lot more. 95, 97, and he's backed off. Doing a lot more pitching.
Opposite way for Jason Worth, down the right field line, slicing foul. And a good catch by that gentleman. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Braves and the Nats tied at 4. How about Nyjer Morgan? 3 for 3 tonight. A double and an RBI, a run scored. He leads the league in triples. I mean, he is flying. Nationals came in a game back of the Phillies in the division.
I'll tell you, that ball club's starting to get a lot of confidence. You know, they have good hitters on that club. Zimmerman getting some big hits for them, and Dunn chipping in.
0-2 the count to Worth. Won that game. The Braves watched as Jason Hayward left the ball game with a sore right groin. Braves have lost 8 straight road games. Hasn't been the kind of start that Bobby Cox anticipated.
Especially what they're pitching that they felt they had.
0-2 the count to Worth. And a call, strike 3. Jason is down on strikes for the 3rd time in tonight's game. 6 strikeouts for Brad Penny, but the Phils tack on another one thanks to the flying Hawaiian. A solo home run to lead off this 6th inning. For Shane, it was his 6th of the year, and the Phillies have a 3-0 lead.
one way you normally do not beat the St. Louis Cardinals starter is with a long ball. But, boy, that's what the Phillies are doing here tonight to this point. Placido Polanco with the 2-run home run as we check out the Verizon Wireless game summary. Kyle Kendrick, 6 solid innings so far. Albert Pujols has 1 hit tonight, but not much in the series. And Shane Victorino hit a home run last thing. That pitch looked like it was going to hit him. The look on Penny's face was beautiful. Are you kidding me?
Well, we said he had not given up a home run this season. Coming into this ball game, he had gone 37 2/3 without allowing a homer, and he's given up 2 in a matter of 3 innings tonight.
They got a few guys like that. Kyle Oshtamar hasn't thrown a home run ball. Garcia.
Well, David Freese leads it off here in the top of the 7th. Kyle Kendrick leading it 3-0. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Freese, who has grounded to shortstop and has walked. He walked in the 4th after grounding out to short in the 2nd. One of the things we said about Kyle is that he needs to work ahead of the hitters, and there have been some that he has fallen behind, particularly in the first 2 innings. But for the most part, he has gotten ahead of the hitters tonight from the 2nd inning on.
Yeah, and he's making them hit the ball. You know, there they go with a base hit. You know, they've hit a few balls really hard here tonight, but they've been right at somebody as opposed to walking a lot of guys and pitching out the stretch.
Well, Freese has his first hit of the night, but it's his 5th hit in the series. So he's aboard to start this 7th.
Brad Penny due to bat next. He is out there at this point.
Cardinals do have bullpen action. They've got a right-hander up and tossing. Looks like Kyle McClellan is up there throwing. Yadier Molina is 1 for 2. He doubled his first time up, but he pops up the first pitch. Not that deep into right field. Jason Worth settles under it, makes the one-headed catch for the first out. One away here in the 7th. Hey, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Well, Brad Penny's night is done. Those 2 youngins, their night isn't done just yet. It looks like Kyle McClellan will be the next pitcher, which is Mitchell Boggs is now up and throwing. So Boggs will be the next pitcher. And John Jay will pinch hit for the Cards here in the top of the 7th inning.
It's the one left-handed hitter they have on their bench. They have 4 right-handed batters. There's Brad Penny. He's pitched really, really well for this team this year. And a little bit frustrated on what went on here tonight. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 6.
John Jay 2 for 9 so far since his call from AAA. This guy had a 16-game hitting streak at AAA this year. So a pretty good start to the season. Little number to the left of the plate. Schneider says he's got it. Has to hurry the throw, and it's off the glove of Ryan Howard. Over to third base goes Freese. And the Cardinals have 2 runners on with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. They're going to score that a base hit. And they will charge an error to Schneider to allow the runner to go to third.
Well, as Tom said, Schneider ran Kendrick off that immediately. Felt that he had the play. And then threw wide. Ryan Howard went into the stretch out there because he felt the ball was going to beat him, and if he could catch it, they'd get the out, as opposed to moving off the bag and blocking it. And that's a split-second decision the first baseman has to make there.
I have to admit, Ryan has made a lot of nice scoops this year, too, and he's probably feeling pretty comfortable about it.
Well, exactly. And if he catches it, he's out.
Right.
And that's what he's thinking there. You know, he can see where the runner is, and he knows if he catches the ball with a split that they have the out. First baseman will, are trained if they can read the play that the guy's obviously going to be safe to get off that bag and make sure you block the ball. Sandy Baez starts to throw. Kendrick needs one of those sinkers for a ground ball.
Ryan is 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice tonight. one's over at the knees in the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to him. Again, Ryan is batting in the number 9 spot in this Cardinals order. Since Tony La Russa's implemented this lineup where the pitcher bats 8th this year, they're 7-2. Chopper towards short. Could be 2. Beautiful hop for Castro. Utley's throw in time. That's a 6-4-3 double play. Kyle Kendrick's best friend tonight has been the ground ball. Usually it's his closest friend. And he gets a double play here to strand a runner at third. It's time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. A little defense for the Phils, some good pitching, and they lead it 3-0. Answer. Question again. When Bob Force threw a no-hitter against the Phillies in 1978, which Philly should have had a single and which Cardinal was given an error on a controversial call that saved the no-hitter?
Gary Maddox and Kenny Reitz.
Gary Maddox is correct, and so is Kenny Reitz. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. And here's a quote on Ken Reitz on being given the error. There's no question in my mind that it was an error, but it's the first time I ever got a standing ovation for making an error.
Yeah, well, you know, he was such a good fielder. They used to call him Hoover, the vacuum cleaner. And here's what Ozzie said. Base hit all the way. Never touch the ball or anything else.
Can't give an error on a ball like that. It went to the side of his glove. Ken Reitz won a Gold Glove in '75.
It was a hit. I'll never forget it because we had a really good look. Our broadcast booth, there was position so you could really see the third base line, and it was a hit.
Well, Ibanez leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning against Mitchell Boggs. This is his 10th game. No wins, 1 loss. A 3.60 earned run average. You know, Ken Reitz had 1 year where he made just 8 errors.
Oh, he was good. He was a really good third baseman.
Think about the corners that the Cardinals had at that time. They had Ken Reitz at third, and they had Keith Hernandez over at first.
Ozzie was playing short.
Ozzie was playing short.
Tommy Hurd second. And they could just fly. You know, they had Coleman, David Green, Willie McGee. They were called the Running Redbirds, and they had a huge ballpark in St. Louis, and they just beat it into the ground and run.
Ibanez fouls it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Vince Coleman.
Yeah, they kind of, Reitz and Hernandez and those guys kind of laid the groundwork for those Running Redbirds.
Those guys that came later. I'm thinking Ted Sizemore probably was the second baseman for that group.
By the way, Ken Reitz was the 3D trading card.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I meant to ask you that. He had some temper, boy. He was an exciting ejection when he got thrown out of a game. He used to be a good one.
Two and two the count to Ibanez. And a line drive caught by Schumacher. Man, did he get up there. And he just barely had enough leather to hold that one. One away here in the 7th.
He really timed that well, too. Sometimes a guy will jump too soon, too late. He was just, everything was perfect about that. Had to be. Watch him time his leap. He waited, and then had some super ups there. Another look at it. He's got it lined up, and now I'm going to jump as high as I can. Robbed Ibanez.
Juan Castro now the hitter. And Castro takes a pitch a little low.
You see Raul, he hits his ball hard too.
Schumacher, a converted outfielder. He's done a pretty good job over at second base. 1-1 the count to Castro.
Cardinal starters had gone 21 straight games without allowing a home run before tonight.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. I mean, it's. I mean, you think about some of the places that they played too.
Today's game,
right?
That's remarkable.
Another sinker at 97 from Boggs. 1-2 the count. That one's off the glove of Boggs, and it trickles towards short. Ryan has no chance to throw out Castro. And that's going to be a base hit for Juan Castro, his first of the series. Now the Phillies have a base runner with one away. Castro has been bothered at times by a sore hamstring over the last couple weeks, and he looked like he was coming up kind of lame as he went across the first base bag. And Mark Anderson, the Phillies athletic trainer, came out immediately to check him out. And I think Wilson Valdez is going to come into this ball game.
Yeah, well, as Tom said, he hurt a hamstring before, and he wasn't out very long. But there he is, digging down that line, and right there he comes up lame, and they're going to get him right out of there and put Wilson Valdez in to run for him, and then he'll stay and play short.
Looks like he's in a little bit of pain right there.
Yeah, that looks a little worse than it was last time.
So Wilson Valdez will run for Juan Castro. Phillies shored up that spot, that backup infielder spot this year with Castro, and they brought in Valdez. Cody Ransom was in spring training and is down to AAA with Lehigh Valley.
Well, they're very fortunate that they had Castro and Valdez who could play shortstop, because your utility infielder has to be able to play shortstop. Ransom, who you mentioned, not a shortstop.
Yeah, he played it in spring training.
But you don't want to have to get caught in a situation where he has to be your shortstop.
He made a couple of really good plays in spring training as short. Mostly was over third, though. Played a little second. Schneider hits that foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to him.
Brian Schneider and Kyle Kendrick worked really well here tonight. They looked like they were on the same page for the most part, and so far so good through 7.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to work at least through the 8th, and Kyle has really managed his pitch count. He's on deck, so he'll get a chance to bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. His team leading at 3-0.
You wonder if they were to get 2 on with 1 out, if they would hit for him. With 2 outs, I don't think there's any doubt that they wouldn't.
Opposite way for Schneider, but Holiday is there. Now it's time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Celebrating Cinco de Mayo. And it's an opportunity to put on a sombrero and get a little dancing in. That's our Coors Light freeze cam from Citizens Bank Park. Jose Oquendo was part of the act that the Fanatic put together tonight, whether he wanted to be or not.
Yeah, he'll play along with stuff. He's done that over the years. And they are going to hit for him, even with 2 outs.
Yeah, Kendrick was out in the on-deck circles we showed you, and now Greg Dobbs will pinch hit for Kyle. So Kendrick goes 7 innings, allows 6 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Try and get the 6 outs from the bullpen tonight.
Charlie said before the ball game he was not sure if Brad Lidge was available because he worked the last 2 nights. And Dobbs takes one for a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, Kyle did a fantastic job tonight. So he's had an outing against the Braves where he went 8 scoreless, an outing here where he's gone 7 scoreless. And if he can do that more often than what he did in the other 4 starts, then he's going to be in pretty good shape. He was around the strike zone tonight.
I think he got some confidence as the game went on. Some good things happened for him early in the game. They had the leadoff double. Guy gets thrown out at third. They don't score an early run. Maybe they score more than that. Who knows? So much of this game is between the ears.
Well, Polanco's 2-run home run gave Kyle the early lead. And then Shane Victorino tacked on 1 more in the 6th. So here we are in the 7th. 0-2 the count to Dobbs with 2 away. Valdez is short lead off first. In the air to right center field. That's pretty well hit. On the run is Rasmus. He's not going to get this one. It's a 1-hop off the base of the wall. It stayed in the yard, and that means Valdez will score all the way from first. It's an RBI pinch hit double for Greg Dobbs. And the Phils now lead it 4-0.
Yeah, that had ground rule double written all over it. Because where it looked like where it was going to hit out there, it was going to hit out far enough that it was going to hop over the fence, and it caught up right under the padding. That's a great break for the Phillies here. Greg really hits this thing, too. They got a little slider out over the plate, down, and watch it right there jump. Oh, it didn't even jump that high. Hit right around the number sign out there. Fanatic happy about it. Valdez running with 2 out scores easily. That's a nice 2-out run there, Tom.
Big time as Charlie Manuel sends the pitch hitter up for Kyle Kendrick to get some insurance, and he gets that insurance. If that ball had landed a foot closer to the grass, it probably would have hopped over that short fence.
I thought it was going to, because normally when they, when a fielder is so far away from it like that, they're going to land at a spot where they have a chance in that area to jump over the wall.
And Valdez would have been held to third.
Yep.
Victorino lines one toward right. Ludwig coming on, makes the diving attempt. Did he hang on? And he did. And the inning is over. I wasn't sure as when he tumbled if he still had that in his grasps. Well, Greg Dobbs' pinch hit double has given the Phils a 4-0 lead. He's stranded in scoring position, but we go to the 8th.
to you by the Quality Plus Ford dealers, by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now. And by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices? Well, the Fanatics really getting into the Cinco de Mayo celebration here at the ballpark. In fact, he's brought some friends in to do a little La Bamba on top of the dugout. I'm surprised the Fanatics not wearing a sombrero for tonight's ball game.
He really was enjoying La Bamba.
He was.
I think that was a Richie Valens version, too.
It did sound like Richie Valens.
Better known as Ricardo Valenzuela.
Donnie Baez into his 12th game, and he's going to be part of a bullpen that Charlie Manuel would like to get 6 outs from. With his team leading at 4-0, we go to the top of the 8th inning. J.C. Romero and Chad Durbin are warming up behind Donnie Baez. And the top of the order due up for the Cards. Skip Schumacher's 1 for 3. He's lined out. He struck out. He's also single. Baez this year, when he's thrown 1 inning, has looked good. When he's had to go 2 innings, he's shown at times an inability to put up the same kind of numbers. But Charlie said today, he said he has it in him to be a consistent shot in the arm out of the bullpen.
It just seems mechanical. You know, it doesn't seem like he's able to maintain his arm slot. And right now, first 2 pitches, he's all over the place.
That's a strike on the inside corner, 2-1.
And then he does that. High and in, high and outside, zip, right on the inside corner.
Well, this guy is a worker.
Oh, and he's a big, strong power arm, too.
Polanco on the run into foul territory. Makes the running backhanded grab. 1 away.
Yeah, you're right, Tom, about what Charlie was talking about. He's had Danny Baez before in Cleveland. He knows what he can do if they can get him straightened out mechanically so he can contribute, because he can throw so hard, he can get people out.
Well, he's had 3 appearances this year out of the 11 that he's made before tonight where he's given up runs. The other 8, he's done exceptionally well. See Romero and Durbin firing behind him.
I get the feeling Lidge isn't going to be available tonight, and maybe they would use Contreras or even one of those guys. But right now, you got to get through the 8th inning and then worry about it.
And Ludwig, the hitter, and Ludwig takes a pitch off the inside corner. 1-0. Charlie did say today, when he was talking about Brad Lidge, he said confidently that he thought Brad was ready to be in the back end of a game, just off of what he saw these last 2 nights. And I thought even last night, if you couple that with the previous night's outing, it was a great sign.
Yep.
The fact that his fastball was as lively and his slider was as controlled.
Well, he put his fastball in a good spot to get ahead, and then he can use his slider. And, you know, that's the whole key to all pitchers. Right now, Baez is just pumping 96, 97. That's what I'm talking about, the power arm this guy has. Phillies have not had this in their bullpen through the last few years. Guys like Baez and Contreras who can throw with this velocity. But you got to keep it out in the middle of the plate because you can't throw it fast enough for a major league hitter.
Swing and a miss, and Baez gets a strikeout. 96 on that fastball, and it was in a good spot. 2 outs here in the 8th.
I mean, you just don't teach that sort of stuff. You know, guys that come in and fire and strike people out. And that's what he does right here. That's what he's come in. I think he's thrown all fastballs so far. Missed with the first 2, and then he has been right there with the other stuff.
2 outs for Pujols. A hit and 2 official at-bats. He's also walked. And he takes a strike.
Boy, he missed his spot by a lot there. That thing came running inside, and it had some cheese. It's a Cinco de Mayo night, and he's got some serious queso out there.
Now a breaking ball. And Pujols has seen nothing but fastballs from the on-deck circle, from the bench, and up at the box. And he comes in with an 81-mile-an-hour curve, and he was way out in front.
Yeah, he's trying to get started quick there and catch up to one.
No balls, 2 strikes, the count to Pujols. The pitch. Another breaking ball. He lays off. Phillies trying to take game 3 of this series. They took 2 of 3 from the Mets. Lost the first one of the Cardinals. Won last night. Lead this one 4-0. Pujols gets a piece of it. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
With Baez, his ball's running all over the place tonight. Albert started to swing at that, and it was in the middle of the plate, and by the time he hit it, it was in on him.
Pujols with 35 hits so far this year. He's top 5 in that category. The 2-2 pitch. Oh, it hit him hard, man. That one came smoking in at 96 miles an hour. Are they going to say they hit the bat?
Yep.
They are.
Well, he's not happy. But that's Baez. I mean, he doesn't mean to do this stuff. He nailed Francoeur the other night. He just throws hard, and he can get as wild as anybody you'll see. Here he comes with that fastball, comes boring in and hit the handle of the bat.
Take a listen.
Boy, is he lucky. I think it doesn't take courage to play this game. Man.
That one's towards center field. Victorino stuttering a little bit. Finds it. Makes the catch. The inning comes to a close. A 1-2-3 8th inning for Adonis Baez. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Placido Polanco due up for the Phils. Florida Marlins are back in town for 3 games. All 3 are at 7:05. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. You expect that the Marlins are going to be in the hunt for the National League East with the Phils as this season moves on. So these are ever important ball games. Again, Phillies.com is where you can purchase your tickets. Marlins took 2 of 3 from the Phillies the last time they were in town. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mitchell Boggs still out there for the Cards. And Placido Polanco, who has a 2-run home run tonight, leads it off. And Polanco takes the first pitch, a fastball for a strike. Polanco was saying yesterday that his elbow, which has bothered him since Tim Hudson nailed him in Atlanta on the last road trip, he thought that as this homestand moved on, maybe by Friday or Saturday, he would be closer to 100%. So with each passing day, when he swings, the pain subsides.
He got some extension on that Brad Penny fastball that he hit out.
Pulls that one toward third. Freeze backhands it. And 1 out here in the 8th. Well, the Phillies minor league players of the month for the month of April. Cody Overbeck with Clearwater had 6 home runs in those big league ballparks, those spring training parks. And Josh Zeed in 9 games for the Blue Claws in Lakewood, 2-0 with 3 saves and a 0 earned run average. You know who else pitched pretty well in the month of April was Scott Matheson, who picked up another save last night for Lehigh Valley, and he is firing.
He's another power arm potential. One of them's up in the bullpen right now. Kind of figured that Lidge wasn't going to be available tonight. They weren't going to push him 3 days in a row. And Contreras, who pitched so well here last night, is going to pitch the 9th inning. It's not a save situation.
Chase has a hit and 3 at bats. He's grounded out, lined out, and the count 2 balls and no strikes to him. Kyle Kendrick went 7 very impressive innings tonight. He scattered 6 hits, 2 walks, had 3 strikeouts. He left with a 4-0 lead because the guy that pinch hit for him, Greg Dobbs, picked up an RBI pinch hit double, his 56th career pinch hit in a Phillies uniform. He's now 5th on the Phil's all-time list. Leads ahead, 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies trying to pick up their 16th win of the year. And there's ball 4, and Chase is aboard for the 2nd time tonight. Chase has now been on base 24 of the 27 games the Phils have played. Well, tonight after the ball game, don't forget, it's complete Flyers coverage, plus reaction from Game 3 and plenty of highlights. It's Toyota's Sports Night tonight after the ball game on Comcast Sports Network. Flyers are down 3-1 right now, late over at the Wachovia Center. Tony La Russa's heading out to the mound. That's probably going to be it for Mitchell Boggs. Reyes was loosening up, and Reyes is walking down the stairs in the bullpen. Mitchell Boggs' evening is done. With 1 out here in the 8th, the Phillies have a base runner. A left-hander is due up, so a left-hander is coming into the ball game. It's our AT&T call to the bullpen from Citizens Bank Park, with the Phillies leading it 4-0. And down a runner at first base, and a new pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. And it's Dennis Reyes in his 14th game, 2-0 with an earned run average of 1.35. And he is in because the left-hander Ryan Howard is due up. Ryan is 1 for 3 at a swing and bunt back in the 4th. He's also struck out. He's flied out to right. Chase Utley's on first. And Ryan taking all the way, takes one on the inside corner. 0-1 the count. Reyes is one of 2 left-handers that the Cardinals have in their bullpen. Trevor Miller is the other one. Toward first base, Pujols has got it. This could be 2. Good feed to second for 1. Back over to first. It's a 3-6-3 double play, and the inning is over. So Pujols starts the double play. Ryan Howard and Chase Utley are retired. We go to the 9th inning. It's time for Jose Contreras. Have thrown some pitching at the St. Louis Cardinals these last 2 nights. In fact, the Cardinals have managed just 1 run in the last 18 innings. And we go to the top of the 9th. Jose Contreras is going to try to finish this one off for Kyle Kendrick and allow Kendrick the chance to pick up his first win of the season. Contreras is 10th ball game, 2-1, an earned run average of 1.17. No walks and 14 strikeouts in 7 2/3 innings for Contreras.
Well, he's just learning this role too. This guy was a starting pitcher throughout his major league career, and then went over to Colorado last year and did a really good job late out of their bullpen. We saw him in postseason, and he was nasty. And that's one of the reasons why they decided to take a chance and sign him. He's starting to get a feel, I think, for working out of the bullpen. Now we'll see what he can do back-to-back days, because he was very good here last night.
He'll face Matt Holliday, Colby Rasmus, and David Freese. 4, 5, and 6 for the Cardinals.
It's all sort of the part of the process of learning about your bullpen is what's happening right now. And that's whether a guy can pitch in back-to-back days.
Well, and you also back Contreras up next to Baez, who threw a really effective 8th inning. He was throwing gas at 96, 97. You come back with Contreras, who just threw that first pitch at 96.
Contreras is a little different look than Baez, in that he has a tremendous split finger fastball. And, Danny's Baez is more fastball, slider, curveball, occasional changeup. Contreras is fastball, split, and then slider.
See Holliday's numbers against Jose. 2 for 10 for his career. The 0-2 pitch to him. Way outside. That was the split by Contreras.
Couldn't tell.
Just assumed.
Yeah. It's either that or a slider he held on to too long.
Just been informed that Juan Castro left with a left hamstring strain.
That was a split, it looked like, the way that thing went down.
Jose Contreras has won 73 games for his career, which is 9th among all Cuban-born pitchers. Last night was his 73rd victory. Back to the mound. Contreras has got it. Little crow hop. One away. Well, it's time now for a Home Depot defensive play of the game.
Raul Ibanez hits this ball hard, and Schumacher goes up and makes a heck of a play there. Here's another look at it. Timed his lead perfectly. Robbed Raul of a base hit.
Home Depot doing more on defense. Contreras has one out here at the top of the 9th inning. Here's Colby Rasmus, who has a hit in 3 at-bats officially. Doubled his first time up, grounded out, lined out. And a fastball misses wide, 1-0.
See, this guy comes in throwing 95. It's the last time the Phillies brought relief pitchers in throwing like this. When they can throw strikes and get ahead of hitters, they can be a factor.
Outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes now to Rasmus. He looked like he was taking all the way, and Contreras fires a strike. Comes back with another fastball for a strike. 3-2 the count.
And Rasmus trying to give him a good at bat here, because with the Cardinals need their base runners, and Contreras doesn't want to walk anybody.
Infield is back all the way around for the Phils, leading at 4-0 here in the top of the 9th. And a pop-up down the left field line. Ibanez on the run, over toward the line, has room, makes the catch in fair territory. 2 away here in the 9th inning. Oh, we told you the story last night about Jose Contreras seeing his mom, Modesta, for the first time last Thursday since 2003. Well, there's Jose's mom to the left and his wife Isabella to the right. And she got a chance to see her son pitch in a big league uniform in person for the first time on this homestand here in Philadelphia. She saw him pick up the win last night in extra innings, and now he's 1 out away from finishing off this ball game for the Phillies. Jose's father, Florentino, passed away in 2004, and he never saw Jose in person pitch in the big leagues. His mom's 75 years old, seeing her son, a successful big league pitcher, in a Phillies uniform, a big league uniform for the first time, and seeing these ballparks in person. I mean, she's got to be mesmerized. David Freese, the hitter, the 2-0. A little low, 3-0.
You got to like about Contreras, too, and Baez, whether they do it on purpose or not, they move guys' feet. They can't be real comfortable hitting off them.
Well, he fell behind 3-0 to Colby Rasmus, and now he's fallen behind 3-0 to Freese, and he just fired a strike to move the count to 3-1. Backer toward the middle. To his left is Valdez. He's got it from the bag. Throws a little wide, but it's handled by Ryan Howard. And yes, Jose Contreras, back-to-back nights, closes out a victory for the Phillies. And Kyle Kendrick picks up his first win
here in 2010. An outstanding performance all the way around, and the Phillies pitching staff has now allowed just 1 run in 19 innings, the last 19 innings, against the Cardinals. Isabella, Jose Contreras' wife, she enjoyed it. His mom, Modesta, enjoyed it as well. And the Phillies, as we said last night, may have found something in Jose Contreras that the Rockies first stumbled upon last season. Placido Polanco's 2-run home run put the Phillies on the board first and helped Kyle Kendrick to his first victory, and he is our Chevrolet player of the game.
Yeah, Kyle did a good job here tonight. He wasn't in a whole lot of jams. He threw strikes. He threw some balls that were hit hard, but they were hit at people, which is, you know, make them put the ball in play because this is a good defensive team. You can't do anything when you walk guys. He got ahead of hitters, as Tom was saying. He used his changeup. He used his cutter. He got a double play ball when he really needed it. There's a nice play by Polanco. He had a 2-run home run for him. Here's that double play ball with runners at first and third and 1 out to get out of that inning. Nice job tonight by Kyle, and he wins. Tom said wins his first game of the year.
Wins his first game, gained an awful lot of confidence as this ball game moved on. Everybody loved this victory tonight.